Hello, welcome back to my channel. I have a habit of doing two videos in one. I am going to make a point in the same day and then that's it. I am going to make a commitment to this channel to post at least 3 videos that are spaced out. I'm thinking Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm thinking. Oddly enough, today is Tuesday, and that's when I'm going to post these videos. But going forward, I'm going to have 3 so I can have more organization to this channel, because honestly, I spend a lot of time blogging at leaptaken.wordpress.com, which I don't get very, talk too much about the craft or witchcraft and all that sort of stuff there. It's more about just manifesting. I keep it very light on that particular subject, which is fine because it's all the same thing. They're just words that you're using to describe to me the same thing. But anywho, I spend a great deal amount of time. I have a post 5 days a week, a different blog post, and I'm also in the process of writing a book about a witch. So yeah, I'm a little busy right now. But I also want to be very busy with this channel because I have a lot to share. I realized I was talking to my daughter, and I've been telling her, I'm like, well, I've been doing this for some time now, and I've been practicing for a while. Yeah, it's been for quite some time, 11, 12 years, I think, is what it came out to be, somewhere in between that amount of time. And I have definitely, try different things, read different things. I've exposed myself to different ways of practicing and other type of spiritualities and how I can incorporate it into my own, or maybe how it did not work. But I've tried a little bit of all of it. And I think I have a wealth of knowledge to share. Plus, I'm going into the crown phase, so I can share. I'm 40 plus, and I think I have a lot to offer as far as information to people my age or younger, or maybe even older. I listen to younger YouTubers because they have fresh ideas and fresh approaches that maybe I'm not thinking about to practicing magic, or for manifesting, or law of attraction, or any of that sort of stuff. So I'm open, and hopefully I can be somebody's cup of tea, and they can learn from me as well. Outside of making a declaration that I'm going to be consistent on this channel, one of the things that I also wanted to talk about is how I interact with my deity. For most of my practice, I did not reach out, or I don't want to say reach out because that's not quite right. I hadn't connected with any deity. So I was someone who probably just would have said who was Wiccan, who would just say God and Goddess. There was no, just in general. And to me, I had it in my head, which I still do in some manner, where it's just a universal force, energy, and I equate this with the feminine and this with the male. So that's how I saw it, and that's how I looked at it for years, actually. It wasn't until, let me see, I moved to Florida. I started thinking more about it, I would say about 4 years ago. And then I started feeling a real connection to a specific goddess. And I went ahead and I said, okay, let me read up a little bit more, let me understand and make sure there's a connection here. I would get messages during my dreams. I would my lucid dreaming, I would feel a connection, and then during my meditations, when I opened myself up completely, is when I really was able to feel a real connection. And actually there were 2 goddesses, actually, so I was able to do that, and I was able to feel that. And they are of the African traditional religions, I guess. So I know there's a little bit of, I find that some people say you have to be initiated in order to have a connection. Someone has to basically tell you on your head or whatever, that, this person is, or not person, is, this particular goddess is your mother, you're her daughter, so forth and so on. And this is who you follow. Well, that's fine, and I don't have anything negative to say about that, and I don't dispute that. But this is my experience, and I am not a by-the-book kind of person, which is probably why I couldn't hang too long in organized religion. I ask a lot of questions. If it doesn't make sense, and I can't find a way for it to make sense to me, then I can't do it anymore. I can't believe it. It's unbelievable. It's not for me. So when I feel that I've made a connection, when I feel that it's real to me, and then it is real to me, I can respect what someone else is saying. I can respect their path. I can respect a whole group of what people of what they're saying. But I know what's real to me and what I feel. It's kind of like when, and I know this is a topic about culture. What do you call it? Cultural appropriation. There are people who are not people of color who have a real connection, a bona fide real connection to a culture that is not theirs. And it's tough in today's world, where it's even in the pagan groups, where if they express that, they can have people coming after them and getting on them about cultural appropriation. Now, I can't speak for everybody because I don't know everybody, but I have seen some people where they were just having a real connection. And my thing is, you don't know what's in our DNA. You don't know why they're having this pull toward this thing. In the same way that I didn't know until a year or so ago what my DNA results were. And ever since then, all the things that were, the things that attracted me make a lot more sense to me now. Like, oh, okay, I'm this little black girl, from Jersey originally. Why is she so interested in some of these themes and some of these, I don't know, whatever things, you know what I mean? I can't get my words straight right now. But, why is she so interested in certain paths or things like that, that wouldn't technically part of her culture? And I'm like, okay, well, this makes sense, because my DNA results showed me that, okay, well, maybe the reason that you are so infatuated with a lot of the Celtic lore that you've read over the years is because you have an actual connection to that through blood. There you go. So I wasn't surprised to be eventually get a connection eventually with a deity that was probably of African. That made sense to me, but I was very open, and I still am, because I don't think it's just one and done. Once you make a connection with a specific deity, that's it. That's the thing, the beauty about paganism. It's not just the one god or the one goddess. There's duality, and then there's numerous, so you can have more than one connection. It's a very loving system. But yeah, I had made my connection, and since then I created an altar for the one. In my Book of Shadows, I created very decorative pages for both of the goddesses that I felt drawn to, and I felt like I was having a connection with. At the time, all the research I did, I basically made like a scrapbook, if you will, in my Book of Shadows, of all the information, their holidays, their feast day, that sort of stuff, and just made it pretty, something I could go back and look at, that's documented, and that brought me joy, because I like doing stuff like that. So I did those sort of things and observed those days that supposedly are their special days and things like that. So that's how that was the general way I initially started with my connection. Then I started developing a wonderful meditation where I'm able to, and I do it so often, it doesn't take me a long time to get there, even with distractions. I've gotten a lot better over the years with this, where I can block them out, and I'm basically just closing my eyes, getting my, breathing calm, and it doesn't take long once I get that going. and I'm grounded, I'm settled in. I activate the third eye, and I'm immediately like that. It's like I'm in a new place. I can feel the air. Like, it's that intense. I can feel the air. It's comfortable. It's warm but comfortable. I can hear the birds. I can hear the water. There's a waterfall in the background. All the little sounds you hear in nature, I can hear it. It's a secluded little area. There's a lot of water. It's beautiful, lush, and that is where I can speak to this particular goddess. This is where I can go and feel safe, whether I'm happy, sad, mad, whatever. I can go, and sometimes I'll just sit there and I'll wait until I'm addressed, because sometimes it's not immediate, and I'll wait. It usually doesn't take very long, but I'll wait, and then either there's a nudging, a feeling, or a brief image, just sort of a silhouette, and from out of the water, and I know I have her attention. I have a greeting, I typically say, and then I get on with, whatever messages or whatever I'd like to ask, or what I want to know, or gratitude, or whatever the reason is for the connection. And sometimes I just do it just to show up to see if she has a message for me. I try to do this almost every day. I don't always do this every day. Before I go to sleep, or when I wake up in the morning, or sometimes throughout the day. If things are hectic in my life, I'm probably going to be doing this meditation quite often, maybe more than one time out of the day. It's calming, and if I feel like I don't get an immediate answer, then it'll sometimes come later in a dream, or I'll go to my tarot cards, because I know, okay, so that's how I'm going to get the message, and I usually do. Or there are other times where I wouldn't say there's nothing, because I've never experienced anything where I never felt feedback. More like telling me maybe shut up, just let it happen. Whatever the situation is, like, get out of your own way. Just, what are you worried about, girl? Shut up. Get out of here. And in those moments, like, I could feel that, and it's like, oh, okay, so I'm just making a fuss about nothing. Okay, got it. And let me tell you something, and this is just my truth. When I've had those, it doesn't happen all the time, but it has happened a few times, even recently, when I've had that feeling of being told, no, you're fine. Get out of here, get out of here. Go back to reality. Go back to your reality. Everything's fine. You're fussing about something that doesn't need to be fussed about, or you're seeing a problem where there really is none. What's happening is supposed to be happening. It's usually right. And at that point, no more. I don't do a tarot spread. I don't do any sort of spell work I don't do any other form of divination to find out what's really going on. Is it this? Is that? Am I crazy? Should I listen to? I just stop at that point, because I don't want to disrespect the goddess, that I'm dealing with. Why would I do that? Because what if she doesn't want to deal with me anymore? So yeah, that sort of thing. Now, as far as offerings, I have certain oils that I've created, or I'll just buy a specific essential oil that I know would be favored by any of my particular goddesses that I want to communicate with. So on the altar, I'll have a little cloth, and I'll put drops, light a certain incense, have certain imagery, and even little fake flowers in certain colors, things like that. I don't have my goddesses altar set up where I'm at right now. So what I'm doing, which is what you can do, is before I packed it up, I took a picture of it on my phone, but it's also in my memory, and I will just go into my head, and I will see myself, doing the things I would normally do, lighting the incense, lighting a certain colored candle, putting the oil. I'll see my imagery that I have my pictures and my little flowers. I'll see all this in my mind's eye, and I will go through, and I'll see myself, doing these things. as my way of offering. So that's what I've been doing in the meantime. And if you really, to take it a step further, you can also just take water, which I've done as well. Just take some water in a cup, clean cup preferably, and in the mornings just go out and just, don't make it a big deal. You just walk outside and you just pour a little into the earth, and it's just your way of giving back to the earth, the spirits, and you can make it about a deity if you want, ancestors, whatever, but it's just something, it's very ancient to do that because water is a precious resource. If you want, and you can consider that a type of offering. I've done that. I have not done that here yet because I feel like, honestly, I feel pretty solid about what I'm doing in the meantime. It's a temporary fix until I'm more settled and I have all my stuff unpacked out of storage. So that's what I'm doing now. But I don't feel like it's affected my connection at all because it was very well established here before, I packed all my stuff up. So the connection is still real. But yeah, overall, there's car alarm going off. Is that a car? Hope it's not my car. It stops, it's not my car. Anyway, that's how I connect. And I'd like to keep things simple because it's doable. And if I'm feeling a real connection, then that's all that matters to me. I know some people maybe have elaborate altars and, they have, different types of offerings that are probably maybe something expensive or, food or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. And I may do that at some point, but those are my simple ways of practicing. And that's the thing I like about the type of craft that I follow. Everything is very simple but profound. It has an impact, and I get real results, and I get real feedback from my connections. I feel truly connected to the goddesses that I reach out to. Notice I didn't say worship, but that's a whole other video on the worshiping and about gods and goddesses, but that's a whole other thing. Connecting with these goddesses, I connect with them. I hope you get where I'm going with it. But anywho, I hope this has been helpful on just keeping things simple, the simplicity of it all, just having that connection. If you are more elaborate, that's great. I have the capacity to be as well. I'm not right now, and that's good. I'm glad I'm more low-key about it because I couldn't be very dramatic with an altar space right now where I'm at right now. It's just not possible. So this works great for me, and I just thought I'd share it. It may work for somebody else who, even if you do have the space and the privacy, it just might not be your deal to have a gigantic statue sitting on a table with rosary beads and flowers and a Japanese waterfall structure sitting up. I don't know, if you don't want that type of altar, and if you do, it's fine. But if you don't, it doesn't mean that your connection won't be as strong. So that's all I got to say about that. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. I will be consistent. I will have a Monday video, I will have a Wednesday video, and I will have a Friday video, and there will be some level of organization and descriptions going forward. I'm going to be like a real YouTuber, so just stay tuned. Bye-bye.